Take 32. This is me, Sarah. I'm back. I'm going to be doing another cooking tutorial. If I can learn how to talk. Anyways, I'm going to be making our family's what we call famous dinner. It's going to be a surprise. My mom also did a take on this recipe, but she did it the quick version. Her name on YouTube is sensiblewellbeing. If you guys want, check her out. She's awesome. She's my mama and I love her to death, and she has awesome videos, good cooking videos, cute videos, silly videos. She's just awesome. So, yeah, check her out. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. And thank you guys for all the continued support. I love all the messages. You guys are so awesome. And I just can't thank you enough. So, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Hey guys, so I'm going to show you the ingredients you're going to need for making the famous dinner. So for doing the actual dinner part, you're going to need 2 pounds of hamburger meat, 2 cans of tomato sauce or tomato paste, which I usually use tomato paste, but my husband got me the wrong thing. You're going to need 1 onion, 4 cloves of garlic, 5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar. You can use brown sugar also, ground pepper, salt, and 2 large cans of dark red kidney beans, and you do not strain the juice. You leave the juice in. And then for making our guacamole, we need 2 avocados, 1 onion, 2 tomatoes, and then for finishing up our dinner, we need flour tortillas, some canola oil. Do not use vegetable oil. It's really bad for you. Sour cream, and some shredded cheese. Any kind of shredded cheese you like. So this is all you're going to need to make this dinner. And so let's get started. Okay, so first you're going to want to turn this onion into a finely diced onion. I will be back in 1 second. Seems like when the onions dice themselves, they come out perfect. Okay, next, when your onions cut themselves, you're going to finely dice 4 cloves of garlic. Your garlic's all done, you're just going to throw it in with your onions, and it's time to get out a big pot. These don't want to come out. It's time to get out a big pot so we can start frying these up. Be right back. With your big pot on medium-high, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of canola oil and throw in your garlic and onions. So we're just going to cook these down until the onions start turning clear. Make sure to not have your heat on too high, otherwise you'll burn your garlic while trying to cook your onions. So just have it on like a medium heat, maybe a little over medium, but yeah, not too high or you will burn your garlic and it will be really bad. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. Your onions to be pretty translucent and your garlic to be slightly toasted. You don't really want to cook it much more than this because otherwise you'll end up burning your garlic, but this is perfect. So what we're going to do now is add our hamburger meat. Oh, that was a lot. So after you've tamed your giant mound of hamburger meat and mixed it in with the onions and garlic, you're going to want to cook it until it's all nice and brown. And we're not seasoning it yet because we're going to be pouring out the fat. And if we seasoned it now and poured out the fat, we'd be pouring out a lot of the seasoning. So we're going to brown this up and I'll show you what to do next. So if you find that your hamburger meat has way too much of a greasy content, you can strain it now because it's not going to brown with this much grease. So I'm going to strain mine. I'll be right back. So you always want to strain into something. You don't want to strain directly into your sink because that's really bad for your drain. And also, you can keep all the juices for feeding your dogs if you have any dogs. Or you can just throw them away. I like keeping them to put on my dog's dog food. They get happy. Anyways, quick tip. Be right back. Okay, so now that your hamburger has cooked for what seems like forever, you want to add 2 teaspoons of fresh ground pepper. I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of salt. I'm going to leave the rest to see if I need it for taste. I'm going to add my cumin which is 5 teaspoons of cumin, and my sugar. I'm going to only add about 2 teaspoons right now. See if I need more after I add the rest of our stuff. So you just want to stir this really good and let the meat continue browning a little bit more so it brings out all those yummy spices, the aromas, and get those spices cooking, because they don't really cook very much when you add the liquid. It's nice to cook them without the liquid for just a couple minutes. So I'm going to let this cook for a couple minutes and then show you what to do. Okay, for this part, you're going to want a handy dandy stirring spoon. You're going to add 1 can of tomato sauce, 2 cans of tomato sauce, and then a full can of kidney beans, sorry, I'm trying to get like every bean out of that can, and your other can of kidney beans. If you use tomato paste, you're going to want to fill your empty can of tomato paste with a can of water, and do that with both of your cans if you use tomato paste. But using a tomato sauce, you don't have to do that. So you just want to stir this all around. So since mine has like a lot of beef and beans and it's really thick, I'm just going to add a cup of water that I'm just doing in a can from my tomato sauce, but it equals a cup of water. Because I'm going to let this sit on the back burner and simmer for about a half an hour to 45 minutes and let it thicken up. First, I'm going to taste it and see if it tastes right. So, let's see. Yep. It's definitely tasting like famous dinner. So, I am going to add the rest of my sugar, maybe a teaspoon more, and then I'm going to let it simmer for about half an hour or so. Okay, so I'm adding this much more sugar. It goes about a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. Stir it around. Don't mind my son, he's watching YouTube. He likes watching those try not to laugh videos. Okay, now it's perfect. So I'm going to let it simmer, and while it's simmering, I'm going to show you how I make my guacamole. Alright, so you're going to want a medium to small size bowl for making your guacamole in. I'm just going to set that to the side. I'm going to start by dicing my onion into very small chunks. Okay, I'm going to add these to my onions and start on my avocados. So avocados, you don't need a cutting board for, because you can cut them in themselves. If you haven't seen my avocado cutting technique yet, keep watching to see. So when you do that part, make sure you don't miss and cut your hand open. I've never had it happen, but I've had nightmares of it happening. Okay, so you just take your avocado, make sure you don't push too hard so you don't cut through the skin and stab yourself. And then you just do a crosshatch pattern. Get a nice big spoon, kind of squish it like that, and then you just scoop it out and your avocado is all cut. Makes cutting an avocado super easy. So I'm going to finish up my avocados and I will be back. I'm going to show a clearer image of that because that looks super yummy. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add is 1 spoonful of mayonnaise. I haven't been adding mayonnaise to my guacamole lately, but this is the family tradition of making the guacamole for for the famous dinner. So I'm adding a spoonful of mayonnaise. It always does make it way more creamy and delicious. So I'm going to finish stirring this up because I'm making a mess, and then we're going to go back to our chili. Okay, so I know usually you squish guacamole, but I like mine nice and chunky because I love chunks of avocado. So this is how I'm leaving mine. You can squish yours if you like, but this is how I'm leaving mine. So we're going to go over to our chili. That is simmering away nicely. This is how it should be looking. It's thickening up really good. So I tasted it already, and it's perfect. The beans got nice and tender, and so I am going to take it off the heat now and start my tortillas. So we do our tortillas by adding, that was probably like a half a cup of canola oil, and I'm going to let that get nice and hot, and I'll show you how I test it to make sure it's hot enough. So I have my oil getting hot, and I just want to show I have a plate back there with some paper towels on them so they can soak up any residual oil that might be on the tortillas. But I'm going to see if my oil's hot enough yet by, if you put that in and it starts frying, then it's hot enough. So you just want to grab a fork or tongs, but my tongs are missing again. Anyways, so you grab a fork. Don't pop the bubbles, because if you pop the bubbles, it'll allow oil to get inside the tortilla, and you don't want that, because then you'll have a really oily tortilla. You'll bite into a giant oil pocket. So just let it blow up like that. And just flip it over. My oil is still a little on the cool side, so it's not toasting it as much. What are you doing, Bubby? What are you playing in? What toys? Okay. This one's fried enough. So you just want it to drip as much as possible. And then I'll show you in a second. I put mine like that, because after you fry them, they get kind of stiff. So I put them up sideways so the oil can drain off. So I'm going to do one more, and I'll probably put it in speedy motion, so it looks like it's frying really fast. See, it's back up. Very good. Okay, I'm going to continue frying, and then when I come back, it'll be serving time.
Every time?
Yep. Okay, so now for plating. This is where the interesting part comes in, because a lot of people that never had this before don't know how to eat it properly. I'm sorry, my big arm got in the way again. Anyways, so you plate it like this. You put some beans. It's going to look a lot like a tostada, but it's not. You put cheese, a good amount of sour cream, and definitely a good amount of guacamole. And this is the famous dinner. Doesn't it look divine? So, as per my mother's request, she likes she likes seeing me taste the food on camera. So I will attempt it. I'll be right back. So per my mom's request, here's my plate of food. I just stirred everything together because that's the way I like to eat it. I like to eat most of the stuff off the top and then eat the tortilla. But so I'm just gonna get a bite. If the tortilla will separate, come on, little tortilla. Okay. So I have guacamole, sour cream, all the yumminess. Should I have that on my thumbnail? Okay. Okay, enough kidding around. Here I go. See? That's why I don't eat on camera. I'm like really messy. But, oh my god, it's so good. It tastes like my childhood growing up. We had this all the time. Super easy to make. I know you'll love it. Try it out. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you, Mama. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.